Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hello.
How y'all doing tonight?
it's
No.
me. I'm
I'm.
doing decently enough.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's a Sunday.
Oh yeah, Chad. If you look at the bottom left of the play area, where the house is, you may notice that drawing that I did a few months back
I think it was more than a few months back, if we're being real here.
in
Where?
AH Town.
I'm in town.
You see how to the bottom
Oh,
left of the house?
bottom left of the. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the
I don't know what that
it's
is.
funny spin.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were drawing the spins. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's funny spin.
Spin to win.
Ignore the top right of this page.
Oh no, no. Am I allowed to show that on YouTube? Oh yeah, never mind. I remember that.
No.
I remember that.
Spin.
Very true. That's not going on the stream.
hmm
Enids.
To set the scene for our brave adventurers.
Stop.
What?
What?
Sorry, I forgot to mute.
Indeed, I agree with that. That is very cure, as they say in the red mage industry.
Nobody says that.
Parentheses, nobody says that.
It's certainly riposte.
I'm going to very
Coilicore?
kill myself. It's not even pronounced like that, you motherfucker. There's no la. Do you see an L in there? You're gonna catch this L, you motherfucker.
Corpse the corpse.
You know the entire nation of France wants your blood.
Oh,
Good,
je
I
ne,
want
je ne
theirs.
parle pas français. Oh. To set the scene for our brave adventurers, it is currently sometime a little bit in the mid-morning. The wind and the ambient of the nearby snow and wind rolling down from the high mountain currently sets a very nice canopy for this dark sun day. The sky obscured by a layer of fog and rolling cloud, the crackle of the fireplace tending the house to stay a fair bit warmer than the rest of their surroundings. For the first time in many months, the party is here without a very particular goal in mind. Rifter, having been the rather taken aback as a result of both the fight and the unexpected long journey back, is taking some well-deserved nap time, but the rest of you wake up at a much more reasonable hour. Surprisingly, even Schoonhoff is up before him, but perhaps that's simply how it is. Darius has done a checkup on him. It's not like he's under any particular duress in his dreams. Simply, he needs his nap time.
He's a very EP boy.
You know, there's nothing better than waking up after a long night's sleep in dark sun, knowing that your home is so much warmer than the outside world.
That's very specific, but okay.
It's specific, but it's... There's something different about knowing that you are warm while the world around you is cold, instead of just being warm.
I think I understand that.
How many times have you all experienced winter here?
Well, I've lived around Tarnos Pem most of my life, so
Is this the
If
normal
you'd like
weather?
some context for that, Lork, it's a fair bit more temperate around Tarnos. It's still
Yeah,
known to
because it's
have
near
some heavy
the
snows, but generally the bay and its winds
yeah
that
the
blow in tend to give a little bit of warmth to that area, which has by far dissipated as we get to the center,
Mhm.
the hinterlands of the empire.
hmm So it's not quite the same over at Tarnos, Pem, but still.
When I wasn't in Korheim, a majority of my life was in the Savage Kingdom, so no, I cannot say I've experienced much like this. Last Dark Sun was my first real Dark Sun in this kind of weather.
Do we think all of the other, speaking of us being able to be so warm, everyone else is prepared for this amount of cold? I guess I would assume yes, but
If anything, they're more prepared than we are.
We only just got home.
true.
Whereas they've had the chance to be snowed in for a while, I'm sure their furnaces are very, very well heated. We can always go out and check and make sure everyone's house has enough fuel for a long snowstorm. These aren't always expected.
For that matter, I intended to head out to the checkpoint today and see about my fellows, see how well they took the news.
That's a good opportunity. Plus, it also gives us a chance to reintegrate ourselves with larger Demaref society in preparation for meeting with some of the executors.
Huh.
Sorry, I don't mean to take charge over your
No,
Demaref.
that was my intention all along.
I
You don't
see.
need to worry.
I shouldn't act like a god, I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
But I
You know-
oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just... It's the morning, the sun's just coming over the horizon, and was thinking this was potentially a... I remember speaking with the priest back in the Savage Kingdoms, and he said that this would be an appropriate time to contact Lathander, but I'm just laughing to myself thinking about how interesting of a conversation it's going to be.
If anything, it would likely be more important to have that conversation now than earlier.
Potentially, but fortunately for me, my opportunity to truly commune with him comes when he's inactive, and that also happens to be the nighttime. So, there's two stances. I could come to him in his domain, or I could speak with him in my own. And I'm still deciding on which is the better approach.
I think, given your recent ascendancy, it would be more appropriate to seek him out in his own domain, so as not to seem as though you're making a show of power or something of the sort. An unwarranted show of power, I should say.
I see. You know, when I spoke with him, he was happy and content, and I think as much of a tragedy the position that he's in, at least he's not suffering for it. From a certain cynical, nihilistic point of view, I can understand where Andromache is coming from, even if it, in the end, is...
You wouldn't have said the name, would you have?
He wouldn't... No, I mean...
Yeah.
If we're lowly speaking, like, near our beds, I don't think there's any reason not to, but
Yeah, the party is kind of all off on the side. Plus, generally, you've been able to say Andromache fairly liberally.
yeah, he's definitely not going to say H, but
Yeah,
like
don't
no
say
matter
H.
what.
Good kids don't say H. It was one of the top hits on Kids Bop.
He's more relaxed on Andromache, especially since like the name without any context means nothing to most people. And all of the situations in which we've had issues with it haven't been us just saying the name, but us explaining the name.
Yeah.
It would really
That's
suck
right.
if we knew an NPC with the same name.
Well,
I mean, on that note, both Andromache and Cassandra are rather bizarre names for the setting.
Gotcha.
But it was somewhat relieving to see him. At least it might be my memories from Cassandra. You know, it made me happy to see him not suffering.
regardless of the source of the feeling is still real.
I suppose so. At this point, I have her memories inside of me, and if all we are is a collection of our memories and who we are as people, then I guess part of her is part of me now. There's no reason to distinguish anymore. I assume as time passes, it's going to form into more of a singular identity. But I don't actually know, so grasping at straws, trying to make sense of something that doesn't quite make sense.
Just the more I think about that, I don't like thinking about it either. We can.
Oh, what, you don't like the fact that I'm your mommy now?
No, please don't. God, no, please don't say that.
I do want to speak with her. At some point, but I don't know if... We have things to do now, and I think it'd be better with all of us there, and I don't want to wake up Rifter, as petty as it sounds.
There's a knocking on the nearby wood frame, as Jake is somewhat nearby.
Good morning, Jake.
He makes his way over, gives an overly elegant bow to you, Darius, and in his hands, keeping steady through that, is a small platter with a few warm drinks in it. She starts handing out.
Thank you.
How's the fort been? Have you been holding it down?
He looks out one of the windows and moves over and secures the shutters a little better. It's been on and off, but all in all, this is the worst thing we've had to deal with, so better that you're here.
Good to hear. How expected was it? Did it come out of nowhere, or?
It happens every once in a while.
We were talking about it. We weren't here for when it started, so at least I was curious whether or not it was expected enough for everyone to be 100% all right with the fuel supplies they have.
Yeah, the what? Yeah, the Kios down there, they went around and made sure everybody had a little bit of something.
Oh, that's good.
Hi.
He hands a warm cup of seemingly tea to Lork.
Thank you.
For everyone but Darius, the tea is slightly bitter. It's got a little... It's been spiced with a little bit of booze.
Certainly a great way to wake up in the morning. I appreciate this particular brew, if I may put it that way.
Well, part of it's in hope that you don't end up doing too much today.
It's
Don't worry.
our it's our relaxation time. We've done way too much recently. We need this. Thank you.
He takes the last one off the plate that was originally going to be to Rifter. Looks at Rifter for a moment and instead holds it up and cheers with you to that.
If it helps at all, I just intend to take a quick trip into town, and then I'll be back. I may even cook up a nice hot stew to brace us all against the cold.
As he's moving away. Well, I don't need to tell the Delmerev to be careful, so good luck.
Thank you.
I wonder if he remembers what I told when I just started yelling when I came inside. And how a good way to tell him is he says to Lorik, not particularly trying to hide it.
Well, you could always ask.
Jake!
Yeah, there's a little clatter as you yell out and a little bit of cleaning up before he moves over and hands one to Schoenhoff before making his way back over.
Thank you.
Of course.
You remember anything about what happened when I busted in last night a little too high on energy?
I remember it was damn cold. And he's just thinking for a moment. And then his thing goes from less of a thing to more just staring at you for a moment. And then he's thinking again and he's like... So was that real then?
Yes.
Well...
I would know if it was a dream.
He just runs over and practically tackles you. And starts, in a very abnormal situation for him, he's sort of nudging you and just, you know, gently abusing you. Just roughhousing you.
Getting your licks in on a god, huh?
My best friend is a god!
He's sort of pushing him around and playing back a little bit. It's weird. When I started, I did not think this is where I would end up.
This is the part where I end up saying some tacky stuff about how, of course, I always knew I had it in you. But words escape the situation here because I had no clue. But here we are. Here you are, buddy. Ha.
Here we are. Here I am.
I just hope that means I don't have to start doing all the counting on my own.
Not for as long as I'm alive, and that means probably as long as you're alive. Because as much as it pains me, I am still well alive, Yuan Ti.
Hopefully we can hire somebody else soon enough. Looking like we will.
Well, I hope so. At least you'll be able to rest well in between all that hunting.
Sorry, my bad. Rifter kind of rolls over in his bed. Sorry, hold on.
We should move to the other side of the house, not wake Rifter up.
Yes.
Schoenhoff is at the table eating some small pies.
And drinking beer.
And drinking the beer.
The tea beer, the bee.
Sternhoff is drinking bees.
Welcome
It's
to
spelled
Applebee's.
B-E-E-A.
Will you have the apples or the bees?
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 We have it. We got an order for bees. As you make your way through to the other rooms, you see Stork curled up in a little bowl near the fireplace. Duluth is still taking a big nap alongside, not next to him, but still along the fireplace. There's another little bit of food currently going in the oven, but otherwise things are very still all around. He adjusts a few more things and just says some closing words to Darius. Something along the lines of, I'm sure that once you're fully recuperated, you can tell me all about it.
Indeed. So, Lorik, you said you were going out into town. What are you expecting in town? Or are you just heading over to the Delmarev?
Mostly just
outpost?
over to the Delmarevs. I don't want to spend more time than I have to out there. Don't want to keep you all worrying.
Well, how about we take the anti-weather team to make it faster, easier, and I don't want to sit still. I can be the warmth, Strunhoff can be the anti-cold, I guess, with the wind, and Zeus is good personality.
Yes. Morale, I believe it's put.
Ah, yes, morale. You can sing us a ballad.
Oh, I don't. I'm not really. I don't really sing. That's not really my thing.
You can poetically speak us a ballad.
Well, certainly. I mean, I have the gravitas, I believe it's put.
My, your ego is like a forge fire. The more you stoke it, the larger it gets.
Thank you. I believe that's a compliment. Any particular ballads you would like off the top of your head?
How about the ballad of us being home and just talking to each other and just enjoying our time? Let's get moving. It's not so gorgeous outside right now, but it's still home.
Yeah.
Strunhoff, I hate to interrupt your food, he says as he rounds the corner.
Oh, it's no problem.
Would you care to join us as we head out to the Delmarov Enclave? It's not going to be anything particularly large. We're not hurrying, but it would be nice to have you stopping the cold wind.
I don't see the harm in it.
It will
Give
be
me a
some
minute.
business, but we're not going crazy with doing too much. It's our time off after all.
I'll be ready in a few.
All right.
Are you feeling any stronger this given morning? Feel like anything's coming to you more?
No, I
Concludes.
can't control the rain, Zeus.
Look, I thought it would be maybe a good idea, but also not necessarily what I was thinking. Just
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it wasn't. It was what you were dreaming, though.
Look, why? I don't know why, but I woke up this morning. I just found myself thinking about being rained on a lot. I don't know. I don't know why. Just needing like protection from. I feel like it
Mhm.
must be some sort of omen. That's
Mhm. It's like the gods are telling you something.
No, that couldn't be the case. But I don't know. I might also, just take some time today to, if anyone wants to join, meditation a little bit. I want to try and get a grasp on whatever this teleportation-y thing that was going on that I was able to do when we were, up in that place.
Ah, yes, in Nidhogg's realm.
Yes, yes.
I guess my realm at this point. That's weird.
Yeah. That's why I was confused. I was like, what should I refer to it as?
I. Well,
Are you going to name it anything in particular? Like, there are, names for different sacred places or like different, I don't know, realms.
I've been thinking on it. He's sort of like scratching his
You could name it like the Dream Emporium or like
No.
You know.
So it's going to be the something plane.
Mm.
And I was thinking something related to a simulacrum, because isn't that what a dream is? It's a replication of your memories. So we have the material plane, the immaterial planes. I was thinking of the simulacral plane.
Would be interesting.
Although it's a workshop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have more than enough time to think about it.
Wait.
Time.
Also. Oh, sorry. You go first.
No. I was just going to say the time is now finally something I am no longer bound by, at least largely.
I was going to say, you have such an opportunity right now, to really get a jump start on this whole thing. You could start trying to find followers, trying to set
That
up.
is way too much ego for me still being immortal right now. Well, immortal, he puts in air quotes.
Well,
Hold on, friends. Discord has crashed. We'll fix that right up momentarily. Shouldn't be too bad. We're almost there.
My aid, then it will be given to them. But it's not like I'm not some demon looking to increase the influence of whatever it is.
you're not some. I need to rethink a lot of things about you now.
I see.
Anyways, just a thought I had. I don't know. Thought it would be beneficial, but
This is one of those things that must happen in its own time, in its own course.
fair enough. But like, if someone were to worship you, I mean, what are they supposed to do? You're not leaving any instructions.
What they're supposed to do is not.
Hmm.
Something that I have learned is that gods are not something worthy of worship. Worthy of respect, sure. Worthy of fear, potentially. Worthy of admiration, absolutely. But the same is true of any powerful mortal. We govern planes, we govern things, but we are as fallible as mortals are. We just have more experience and time. But even then, I know some stupid old people. More experience does not make them better.
All right, good. I just wanted to test you. I wanted to make sure you weren't going to become one of those. After a little bit, you're like, well, why don't I just control the dreams? I just had to make sure. Power corrupts. You always have to keep your eye on it.
I suppose so. It's just there's at its core, I feel not much to gain from it. Once I am fully ascended, my existence is separated. What do I gain from getting more power? Is there anything I actually get? Because mortals want more power because it gives them more wealth, more comfort, more enjoyment, but that's not exactly something I need to seek after if I'm a god. I'm at the pinnacle already. There is nothing more to gain.
Hey,
All I
Lord.
would be doing is watching a number go up.
Yes.
As the resident icon expert and god expert, would you mind rolling me a religion check?
Sure. Which is funny that I'm the expert without proficiency.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that position 11?
The admittedly simplified, and you know it's incorrect, but it's incorrect in a way where it's like more of just incomplete than wrong. Is an idea in which it sort of like food a little bit to a god, where without once you've actually like if you one of the ways you kill a god is by removing all of its worshippers. That's one way to do it. That
Right.
without belief in a god, the god peters out, or at least grows so weak as to be unable to perform miracles.
Darius, I would like to correct you on one detail there.
Hmm?
As given my admittedly limited understanding of the divine, icons, or sorry, gods are sustained by faith. It may not cast a god out. A lack of belief may not yet cast a god entirely from existence, but they are empowered and nourished by faith, by belief, by worship.
I understand what you mean, but the issue I take isn't with being believed in. That I'm alright with. That I search for, because belief is the core of a dream. It is
Right.
what somebody seeks out, the desire to change, that kind of thing. But my issue comes with the conflation of belief, faith, and worship, because these are all three distinct, different things. Someone can believe in my existence, understand where I am, without worshipping me, and someone can have faith in my existence while still believing in me. Somebody can have faith in the concept of a dream without believing in me as a god. All of these things still impact me differently, and obviously they have material effects on me. But what I'm saying is I don't desire some structured, absolute hierarchical faith designed around me. I spent my
Right.
entire life trying to destroy that in the UNT.
Right, and I think that might be where there's some difference in understanding of worship, given your past with the concept. What the rest of us mean when we refer to worship is just what you talked about. Prayer as a means of conversation, of seeking boons, of establishing a rapport with the god you identify with, as it were.
Well, take the word God out of that, and everything you've described we do with each other. Do you think we worship each other?
No, not at all. There is
So,
something intrinsically different about the divine, though.
so then does that mean that
Because
you worship me now that I'm a god? I sure hope not.
no, not at all.
So
But
then why does this suddenly change just because something is divine? There needs to be actual change, not some categorical distinction made without reason.
give me a moment to actually think of how to say this.
I'm sorry to have made this such
No,
a thing.
no.
It was
It's something that needs to be thought of, in all seriousness. Plus, we're waiting on Strunhoff anyway, so.
fair, fair.
Alright. So, you know how I have made so much of my people having the freedom to worship or not worship they as they desire to. Yes?
Hmm.
Even if they do still choose to continue on with their traditions as they did before the revelation I gave them, that would be worship. Because it is establishing a communion in a way that is not personal yet is personal with a divine being. Darius, even though you are, in fact, divine, any connection between the two of us, for instance, could not be considered worship, because our connection is very deeply personal, on both sides. I suppose the other way to put it would be that worship is personal for the devotee, but not so much for the god, unless the worshipper is a chosen of their god.
Suppose. At its core, if people find comfort in believing in me, then I have no right to take that away from them, but it still feels odd having...
And it will.
Darius learns about parasocial relationships.
Darius becomes a VTuber. I can't believe one of our party members just became a VTuber.
Hey guys,
What?
today we're gonna be in shooting on this guy's dream, part 69. Wow, look at that. He's reliving that time in high school. Wouldn't it be really funny if, oopsie, he didn't have pants?
Oh my.
Darius just does unboxing videos, but it's unboxing someone's dreams.
Ooh, look at all that repression. That's valuable nowadays. Look at that.
Hey guys, today I'm gonna be Prince Seiron's nightmare demon. Remember to
Hey, what's
leave a
up,
like
guys?
and subscribe if you'd like to
Today-
see more Paralysis Demon gameplay.
Today, I'm going to expose Seiron to sleep paralysis.
Prank in the dream realm gone wrong, gone sexual.
Gone demonic, then gone sexual back with the demonic, but then never understanding why?
Question mark,
listen,
big red circle.
It's because the succubus give the suck.
Alright, clear comes. Reset.
Yeah, sorry. It was a good bit.
It was a good bit.
By the
I-
way, oh sorry, you finish.
No, I want to hear Zeus.
Why am
I
I
hope
so
this helps at
polite
least
now?
a little
You
bit.
guys have ruined me.
Aye, and I intend to keep doing so.
Either way, many gods have kind of, individuals they kind of bless powers upon and such. How are you going to decide what is your kind of and not to dump all of this on you at one moment, but you're a thinker. I figure you've thought about this stuff. What kind of people do you like? Do you think
At
you'll
it-
be like that's the fella or lady or they them?
At its core, it's really just about faith and change. If somebody has the desire to change and asks me for the ability to follow something that they truly desire, or to help others achieve that which they desire, then that will be enough. Ask and ye shall receive, or so it goes.
Wow, you're already getting the phrasing right. You've thought about this quite a lot.
I would imagine he's thought about it for quite some time.
I had a while.
Well, if we are ready to go, I don't know, Struenhoff, if you are still putting things together. This is kind of looking around. Being if we can see Struenhoff.
I'm quite alright.
Alright. Let's go then. And
Alright, boys, I got the weather machine up and running. Let's get out of here.
Darius, I think that for now at least we should avoid bringing up present circumstances.
100%. I don't want to
I-
live in a situation in which I'm already being, I don't know, harassed for being a god. It was mostly for Jake. I think it would
I know.
be rude for me to not inform him.
I know, I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. Let's get going then. All of us.
You open the door, ready to tackle the big wide world. The storm has
I
gotten
hope that's this.
substantially worse.
All right.
We should prepare a care package first.
Yep. Closes the door. Okay.
Darius, would you like my
definitely
cloak?
No. It's not. It's not. I don't feel cold. I feel the wind on my face. I know that it's cold because of that.
Right.
But I don't. I'm not actually cold.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure we wouldn't have a repeat of that one floor.
I know, and I appreciate it, but I'm all right now.
Good.
So I think, yes, care package good, and then Struenhoff and I, we should start modulating the areas around us before we leave, so that it's not a step into
Sudden
ice
shock.
bath. At least for you all.
I'm
You know,
going
if
to
we had
find
more-
another. I'm going to find another layer or 2 or 20 to put on.
Careful, you might sweat depending on how hot I make it.
If,
Alright, two.
if we had time and I knew it wasn't going to freeze into a solid block of ice by the time we got there, I would love to make that stew in advance and bring some with us, but
I mean, I can help you keep it warm.
reasonable enough. Alright.
I am
Reconvene in about 2
literally
hours?
I'm literally a moving furnace at this point, so.
Alright.
Aye, this gives me a chance to go through my notes, update my journals, double check over some writing. None of the business stuff that is going to burn my brain.
Alright. Zeus, I need another pair of hands.
Of course.
Lork, get started on making a nice stew.
There he is.
It's one that is... I'm sorry, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I thought you were done.
Yeah, one that is nice and thick and warm, and which will just go smooth down the throat and just is
Chicken
good.
noodle soup.
Except probably basically just a beef stew.
Darius is
One could
jerk.
call it traveler's stew.
True.
Maybe even hobo stew.
Made with real hobos. Anyway, what was Darius doing? I'm sorry.
He's just journaling.
Okay.
These will help prep food. They'll be like, "What? Why did you put that seasoning in instead of
Traditional
that?"
recipe.
Huh? Okay. How thin do you want these sliced?
That's fine. Don't want them too thin or they'll disintegrate in the stock.
Fair enough.
So Darius,
Fun flips. Cutting. Anyways, yeah.
tell me, what is the new god journaling about?
He's mostly recording, in brief, the circumstances that led up to Ascension. Talking about, or not talking, but writing about how he got there, the names of those that aided. Basically, making a short chronicle of the events.
Okay. I'd say that probably finishes up a good little bit before they're finished with their stew. They probably have about an hour left on it. They're about 2/3 of the way through. It's mostly just cooking right now and waiting a little bit longer to add what vegetables they've prepared.
Oh, hold on. Oh, I was holding the Windows key. I was like, why can't I non-grid it? He sort of peeks around the corner. Looks back and forth. Peeks back around the corner. Enters in the other way. Alright. Smells good in here.
Hi, I've been trying to educate Zeus about some of the finer points of biomarine cuisine.
Hopefully you can understand it because it goes right over my head.
I've gotten to the point where I cut the food and it goes in. That part I get. Or at least of this one recipe. Are not all the recipes like this?
We'll leave that for future lessons.
Oh no.
Oh, we just woke up. Oh, okay. He's gonna like step back a little bit and kind of like stand on the wall. I don't. Well,
Are you
all
alright?
I'm gonna go lay down.
Really?
Yes. I don't know why, but you know, when sleep calls, I can't exactly turn it down.
Should we be
Busy.
concerned about this?
Maybe.
Goes over to the bed, lays down, and just snaps himself to sleep.
Is he about to like explode with power or something?
So, would you mind going and checking on him? I can handle the rest of this. It's just adding what we've already done.
Sure. I'll go over, see what I can tell. I'll sneak over.
If you've ever seen a Yuan-Ti smile, I would assume this is probably about as close as it would get. He seems warm and content in his sleep, I would presume.
Zeus is gonna check his pulse.
Subtle as always, I would assume. Unless Darius has any reason for it not to be.
Nope. His same normal low, light pulse. His body is unusually warm, though. Like, but that is normal.
It is normal.
I don't know if Zeus would know that,
unusually
but
normal.
I don't know if Zeus would know that his body is
feels
very
just
warm.
like, you know, a regular human person body would feel. Which maybe he knows that that's abnormal, but that's abnormal in a way that's normal. Of course.
So,
Yeah, Zeus is just gonna be like, I don't know anything about. I'm not a medicine person. What is? He's just thinking to himself, what do I do here to see? Zeus is gonna just poke Darius's face and see if there's any reaction.
How
She's getting
does,
double
How
cursed.
does sleeping Darius react to that? Would he-
eyes closed. So he's aware of this, right?
I'd say you could roll me a perception to be in like a half awake state.
Okay. My perception bonus is like +1 or something. I don't want to open up the other thing.
Okay. You can tell something's going on. Enough to like, you probably like swat him away with your hand or something.
Yeah, okay, just a bat.
You swat away and go, oh, never mind. Yeah, I think he's fine. Alright. This is gonna walk back to the kitchen. I think he's alright. He swatted my hand away, so I don't know. In his sleep, I don't know if that means anything. He felt like, you know, human body temperature. I don't know what any of it means.
Well,
And he was smiling. That I was concerned he might be possessed because he looked like he was smiling, and that seemed odd to me. But
well, you figure a large weight is off his shoulders. He no longer has to contend with not having an eternity.
it's true. Must be pleasant. By the way, just how are you keeping up? I guess, or how are you, feeling about all this?
What do you mean?
I mean, you two. I mean, you two obviously talk about, your relationship and stuff a lot. But if you need another, person to talk to vent to, a lot is obviously happening. He's ascending and such.
Well, thank you. I suppose, to put it simply, I don't have much of an opinion on this beyond that. I'm glad that the end is no longer the final end for him. Up until this point, all he had to look forward to when all this ended was oblivion, not even life after death, just gone. Now he has something. And
Nice.
Well, he continually becomes someone new and someone different with each new thing that happens. He is still, at his core, he's still Darius.
Well, it's you have a healthy outlook on it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Well, I mean, I think other people would have gotten, trapped up in, a lot of other things. But I think it takes a lot. It's very admirable, I guess I should say. Yeah.
I've had a lot of time to examine my own outlook about the divine, and part of this may just be knowing him from before all this, but his ascension, complete or otherwise, doesn't really affect how I see him. Any more than any other change that has happened has.
Where did you first learn to cook? This is a little bit sidetracked of a conversation to have. Who did you learn from?
Well, it wasn't exactly learning, but back during my days back in Arish Tarnos, before I was chosen by the Order, back when I was about 3, I remember having something of an interest in what my parents cooked. It was always interesting seeing them at work, and once I actually came to be part of the Order, at least some of it was part and parcel with learning the job, but the rest was me taking a more active interest in our culture and bringing it forward into today.
I like that. What a, you're filled with a lot of these very, I don't know, inspirational ways of phrasing things. You should write a book or something.
I'm not much of a writer. I may sound like this when I talk, but when I write, it's difficult to get more than about 5 words out of me.
Mm. I feel you. I've had to write and communicate a lot, and sometimes it's like you know what you want to say, right? But then it's like, you get stressed because it's like, if you mess up, you have to, basically grab a new paper, start all over again. It's like that pressure of it. It's a very permanent thing.
Oh, it's not that at all. It's that
Oh.
I write very efficiently, and it's not very engaging to read.
Ah, got you. You're like facts first,
Hmm.
I understand.
Thank you for the compliment, though.
No problem. You know, just trying to, uh,
Do you have
just
any
off my
plans for
head.
when
I
we're...
didn't think about it. Sorry.
How about you? Do you have any plans for when we're done with all this?
Well, I've had this thought recently. I was, pondering it a little bit more yesterday, or the other day, when we were kind of talking about this. But the idea of, I don't know, maybe founding some sort of small settlement, and keeping like a low profile. It could be nice. I don't know. I don't know anything about, founding a town, but just the idea, so that a place where people can, grow up safe, relatively, obviously I have these abilities from, traveling with you all, and I don't know, it just seems like an easy way to corral people to protect them, I guess. That makes
Why,
it sound very not great, but
why not help this place become that? All Hectorum.
hmm,
A place at the edge and at the center of the world.
there's not anyone else already, taken up the kind of leadership role here.
They have, but maybe the world doesn't need more leaders. Maybe it needs more people doing things right.
I guess I hadn't really thought about it. Guess I was worried that you know, I'd be known too much here. But, or,
That's not
when
necessarily a bad thing.
I'm realizing you really can't take the rogue out of the individual. Maybe that's why I'm so adverse to being known too much.
Well, if you really are worried about being known too much, why not forge a new name for yourself?
Could be good. I guess I could always change how I look a little bit. I don't want to deprive people of my lovely appearance, but
Or it could
when
even
I
be a temporary thing, becoming a sort of anonymous benefactor.
true. Can you think of any good names to go by, maybe? Or titles?
You have more than enough time to think of that on your own.
Well, that's true. Just, I don't know, wondering if you'd heard any cool ones. I wonder if Struenhof! Have you heard of any cool names that nobody is currently using?
Names for...
I'm thinking of changing my name. Maybe.
I'll give it some thought.
I
There's
appreciate
a lot on
it.
my mind.
Yes.
Or those dreams.
Something like that.
Anything exceptionally big coming that has come to you yet, or is it still trying to put the pieces together?
It's a little bit of both.
Mm.
I'm sure down the line I'll have a much clearer picture once it's said and done.
Got you. That's exciting. Good to see that your wish is really coming to, fruition. Now that, these things have kind of happened, do you all have any regrets about what you wished for? Like, oh, I should have done this or that, or anything like that?
I won't know if I have any regrets until I see how the second wish turned out.
Mm. curious thing, being just granted the opportunity of all of that. And it, in some ways it feels, you can think about that so much and prepare for it, and then, it feels different in the moment. I don't know. It's just,
It's a humbling
unlocked.
experience.
Yeah. Curious. Also, do we have a timetable on how long we're planning on staying in town? I don't mean to rush us, of course, but
Presumably, at least until the roads are clear enough for us to head out to Gerard Martivir.
question to DM: has Zeus been there before?
To where exactly?
Gerard Martivir.
Gerard
Don't-
Martivir is like a couple days
I
outside
don't
of
believe
Tarnastan.
so.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, Zeus isn't familiar with it? Okay.
I mean, he would know of it, but he hasn't been there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He only joined the party sometime after our last visit there.
I mean, it's not
Wild.
like it's somewhere that he would have been, Hey guys, I'm a master thief. I'm gonna go. I'm a master thief, leader of the Thieves Guild, and I'm gonna go right in the middle of a police station where people can just passively read minds if they want to. No biggie.
That's Zeus's prank channel. That's his YouTube channel. So I was just thinking I could have sped it up if I'd been there before. Trying to use my abilities to get us places faster. But I have not stepped foot there. Would not have been a good idea, I think, without being truly a part of this group. Well, if I can continue to help cooking, do you need any?
Right, there's not really much
bowls?
left. I'm just about to add the last vegetable. If you could get another pot down, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. This is going to help continue cooking.
Here, I'm just about to add the last vegetables and get all this portioned out into the other pot. Do you mind holding that for a moment?
I can. Yes, sure.
All right. Lord kind of carefully pours some of the stew from the bigger, like, stock pot into a pot for delivering food.
Mm.
Right.
Zeus starts holding it with like one arm, and then after it gets like 50% full, he has to switch to holding it with two because like this is a little bit heavier than I thought it would.
Right. I've made a lot since I knew that we would be giving some of it away.
Yes. No. Fair.
Right, that
fair.
should be enough. All right. Did you make sure to get a lid too?
You know, it's the damnedest thing.
Hmm.
Internet blip, sorry.
No, I
Zeus,
gotcha.
you should. Let's. Here, hold on to that for a little bit longer. I'll get a lid.
Oh no! Zeus is training to keep it held.
Lord kind of grabs the lid and easily just lifts it out of Zeus's arms and sets it on the counter.
Oh. You would really think I would have gotten stronger through all that we've been. My arm muscles are not quite where I want them.
It was a lot of stew.
Let's make sure that anybody asks. Well, that's what I'll tell them. It was a lot of stew.
Hmm. Anyway, I'm going to go check on Darius.
Sounds good.
He is resting like a baby.
Orc's gonna take a minute or two to just sit down on the next bed over, and after a little bit, take a moment to actually stretch his shoulders a bit, and he's gonna give Darius a light pat on the shoulder.
Uno memento on that.
Yeah. I am going to take this opportunity to sit and grab a drink. Is that alright with you guys?
That it is.
Okay,
Sure enough,
be right back.
what's he been working on in character?
Trying to piece together the results of his wish that he gets every night. Just kind of like off in the not like off in the corner, but like kind of just minding his own business and like sitting in silence and thinking.
Zeus is going to sit down near Srinov and kind of be like, need any help organizing notes or anything like that?
No, I can handle it.
Fair. Didn't mean to underestimate your abilities, just helping hand. You know.
I understand. You know, did Dyer ever tell you that he helped me with some experiments?
You see Zeus for a second is kind of like taken aback, like hearing his brother's name and being like, he hadn't actually. What kind of experiments?
Nothing fancy or dangerous, just, there was a monster that we had killed down in the dungeon. We took some tentacles off it, and I was having him help me study its properties. I had planned to see if I could fashion it into a whip for him, but things got in the way. Time, etc. He was a good assistant.
He was a good many things.
Yes.
Do you still have this tentacle?
I'm sure I do. It must be in my room at the Mages Guild.
Well, I mean, if for nothing else, completing a job, I would be happy to try and help out in any way I can, just to, you know, take one thing off the list. Of course, you know, if you have time.
Well, nowadays I see myself having a lot more time than usual, so perhaps I'll take you up on that offer once things settle down a bit.
Also, I might have collected something that I shouldn't have. But, you know, maybe with experimentation and such, you know, it could turn out being useful. I don't know. But it is contained. You remember those weird little mushroom things that we got rid of.
All too well.
I don't know what compelled me at the time. I think it was just a, anything can be useful type thing. I have a little bit of maybe a vial of some of its blood goop. I don't know if that would be helpful to you at all, but who knows what properties it could be used for. But,
Of course, I'll gladly take it.
all right. Let's not tell Darius about this. Zeus is going to slip a vial to you.
I'll be careful with it, of course.
Of course, I have the utmost trust in you.
Would you
in
mind
fact,
reminding me which one that's from?
this was in where was it? When we went back to what's the name of it? Starts with C. I think it was when a few sessions back we went down there having the problem with all the little mushroom fellas, and we killed them with water, and they were like infesting the basement. And we went there to clean up.
Caballo.
Chibalo, thank you. And then I asked you if I could sneak a vial, and you were like, that. And I was like, aight, cool.
Okay.
If that was enough info.
I don't recall right now, but I recall that it existed. I just don't remember what it is.
Got you.
I'm sure that I'll remember later.
Yeah.
I am back.
A little back.
Nice.
Hello back.
So is Junhoff planning on doing any research for that right now? Or is that
No.
more of a, I'll do it sometime?
Aren't we not like anywhere close to home right now? Or have we not left yet?
Well, home right now. You're still in the building. You're still in home.
Well, he would probably plan to do it after we get back from going to the Del Mirov.
Okay.
The name of it. But yeah.
Yeah, the checkpoint.
Yeah, the checkpoint. He would probably plan to do it after that.
Alright. So, Chad, you ready for camera panning or no?
Nope.
Not
Oh, damn.
quite.
Okay.
How tall are the ceilings here?
I'd wager like somewhere between around 9 to 12 feet.
Gotcha.
Since, we do have some rather tall people and there are bunk beds.
Yeah. Zeus is just going to silently plot. Think about things.
since we have some downtime right now, meme review in AH meme channel?
He's very good.
Yeah, it is a very, very, very good meme.
I mean, I'm glad that I pinned it.
This is good. I like this.
Wonderful.
So true.
Yeah. BQ, are you tending the pot right now?
No, because presumably Lork had just headed over and was checking on Darius.
Okay. He turns over a little bit in his sleep. He flips to the other side of the room.
All
Sorry,
right, so-
flips to face the other side of the room.
All right, I'll give you a little bit more time.
Is he still knocked in whenever sleep?
He's still asleep. Yes.
Was he going to do something particularly important in his dream? Sorry, I might have been.
He didn't say, although I wouldn't put it past him given how suddenly he went over.
He's surprisingly reckless sometimes, you know.
He always has been, but typically he has our good as a whole in mind.
Sure.
I just sometimes have to remind him not to set himself on the pyre.
Yo, is that a super giant reference?
Wait, do you think Rifter's having some kind of dream and Darius is messing with it?
Maybe, although the urgency that he wouldn't have been that urgent about just pulling a prank.
Fair. Although he seemed pretty calm about it still. Just like, oh, I'm tired.
He was calm, but there was... He was calm because he didn't want us to worry.
Fair. That makes sense. You
Sometimes, sometimes with him, it's when he's most calm that you have to worry most.
I guess you do know him best. That would ends up lining up quite well.
We as a whole have had to pull him out of some bad situations that came about as a result of him being completely calm about something.
What?
It's not my place to speak about what those situations were.
Yep, fair. Didn't mean to pry.
Not at all. Don't worry.
There's a thump over by where Darius is. He has rolled out of bed.
I'll go check on him again. Zeus, do you mind stirring the stew a bit and make sure that it doesn't get that skin on top of it?
Sure.
Right.
You put skin in the stew.
No, it's the broth. It settles.
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
Like, yeah, no. As much as there may be giants native to this land, their cuisine did not survive. As did neither their cuisine.
Lorik is going to kind of gently scoop Darius up and put him back in his bed.
His face is not as happy as it had been. Instead of being, you know, as gentle of a smile as it can be, it's much closer to that neutral borderline, you know, resting bitch face that you auntie tend to have.
Mm-hmm.
One
He
way
looks
it's
like he wants to speak with the
stern.
manager.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to speak to the manager. Some of it's even borderline wincing at this point. But rather than like, you know, a moment of ooh wince, it's more just like a constant purl.
Lork's just gonna set his hand gently on Darius's forehead for a few moments and then sit back down on the bed. The other bed, that is.
Okay. Would you mind giving me a perception check?
Yeah. I think my perception modifier is the same on this sheet. Yeah. Okay. That's a 17, baby.
You notice that at the area after he's been laid on his side, the area underneath his arm, like the burrito of the blanket that's wrapped around him, is starting to get a little bit wet on the side that was underneath him around where his shoulder is.
Did he have a bottle that broke or something like that? Lork is going to try, without disturbing Darius, to see if there's like broken glass or something like that. Or porcelain. He knows that there's that mug of tea that Jake gave everyone.
Darius is currently starting to wake up. At this point, it is going to be like this is the point at which he wakes up, but we just have like probably another minute that we just need to talk.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so, is there anything that Lork finds, like, broken glass or anything like that?
As you move through more of it, there is not broken glass. However, there is blood.
Lork's gonna give him some quick lay on hands points to try and stem the flow a bit, even though can't really.
Of note, this is when Darius is waking up, so give it just a second before you do so.
Okay.
Like, you
Yeah.
will be doing that, but it's like when he's waking up and starting to say his first words that, like, you can do that. So, Zeus, would you mind giving me a performance roll?
Yes.
Actually, make it a nature or survival, your choice.
Nature.
I would say performance would probably be just garnishing it and stuff, making it look appealing as you played it.
Got you. I will do survival. 24.
Alright, the mise en place was very good. As it turns out, Mr. Rogue is rather good at using a knife, and the cuts of both the vegetables and the meat have been done to a very fine degree, and as a result, as you check up on the soup as it's just about finished, is of exceptional quality.
Base.
They call me a soul knife because I'm great at making soul food, you know? That's-
With a knife.
Yes, with a knife.
Base.
I'm half tempted. Or I was half tempted to just add on the side eye roll just to bump it up even higher.
Darius's eyes are glittering open as Dort casts lay on hands upon you. How many points of lay on hands will you use?
5, let's say.
Well, Darius, you're awake.
Acting tough is hard.
What happened? I noticed you fell out of bed. I helped you back in, and then I saw there was some blood.
Yuan Ti happened.
What
I
does that mean?
I had visitors in my realm. One of them was innocent, wanting to record the process of my ascension. Another, and I couldn't figure out what it was, but there was a third and fourth, a pair of Yuan Ti. More snake formed, not half-bloods. As Yuan Ti do, searching to grovel before the newest power to gain favor and backstab. I told them to search their own desires, and their own desires was to stab me. One of them ran, the other couldn't. And I confronted, and I believe, at least in a way, broke the chains of their nature.
Well, I hope you were successful. I'm sorry to hear you got stabbed.
It was something I expected.
I suppose.
I was thinking about everything that you all talked to me about, and how perhaps given the same chances and the same opportunities that I was, because I made plenty of mistakes when I was given my freedom, plenty of manipulation still happened, that perhaps given that extra chance, change could happen. And it hurt, but it worked. At least for one of them.
As Darius moves to sit up a little bit more on the bed, he winces a little bit as he puts weight on one of his arms, and a fair bit more blood flows down his back, kind of spoiling some of the sheets there.
They, you know, for as strong as I've gotten, they were surprisingly strong. Not enough to seriously threaten me, put me on the brink, but enough to be concerning.
Well, do you want some more time to tend to all that, or would you like to get out on the road and
It's over at this point. I've addressed what I've needed to address so far. We should get on the road.
All right.
I would, however, like a little bit more.
All right. Lork can give him another 10.
He is still bleeding
In
quite severely.
would he be able to see like the relative HP that would be required
Yeah.
for it?
I mean, you can also heal yourself.
Yeah. So he wouldn't be thinking of doing that because you said because he tried that already in.
Okay,
the dream
valid.
So
Okay.
so he would be in a mind state not to do it to himself because he.
Gotcha. Okay.
It is roughly
Lord,
70 points.
he's not under pressure of time, so he just keeps eyeballing it until it is healed.
Yeah. It was
he's just-
roughly 70 points of damage.
Jesus. Yeah, Lork keeps kind of continually pumping lay on hands points in until the bleeding is stemmed. However
Honestly,
many that
it's
is.
probably healthier long term most of the time to do it like piecewise like that rather than all at once.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, just biologically, sudden tissue regrowth is like scar tissue and like not good or structurally consistent. All right, thank you. That feels better.
I'm just glad to be able to help.
God damn it! Now I have to change the sheets. Whatever. I'll manage it when I get home.
All right.
You know what?
We
Nope.
have time.
Nope. I can't. It's gonna dry. And he just like in one fell swoop, whoops the sheets off.
Question.
Yes.
Does Darius or Lorik know prestidigitation? I
No.
wouldn't assume so.
Does someone in this house know prestidigitation?
It's gonna prestidigitate all over you.
You know
Is
what?
that a promise?
Alright. Duluth probably knows. But then you'd have to go explain the situation or at least ask. So really the choice is yours. Which do you value more? A little bit of time spent doing it to a lower degree or having to ask him for a favor?
Alright. Lorik helped me with this one. So,
All right.
as he sits down and puts his business face on, I have to be very careful with this because I have already accrued a lot from Duluth. I have a lot of favor in him, a lot with moving this whole, Korheim thing, all of the ability, the staying in the house. I have a lot of leverage, so I have to be very careful about how I spend the leverage, how I trade favors. Do we think that this is worth the time?
I mean,
Or can we phrase it in a way that doesn't spend the leverage, but guilt trips him into it?
Darius.
Yes?
It's one small casting of a cantrip. I don't think it's as complicated as you're making it out to be.
I don't think he's as naive as you're making it out to be.
I don't think that someone who lives in the house would be averse to casting a cantrip to remove blood from the house's furnishings.
You know what? You're right. Not if it comes from you. As he hands the sheets over to you.
It kind of icks down to Lorik's bare feet as it is suddenly upset and agitated.
I love you too, Darius.
He's just grinning.
Alright, Lorik is going to go and ask the favor.
Are you carrying it with you?
Yes.
All right, there's little blood drips following the entire path all the way
he's
up.
seeing the start of that. He's going to then take a moment to rearrange and bundle it up so that the part that is bloody is inside the rest.
I see, very wise. Much better.
Darius will grab like a spare rag or like a piece of cloth from something, whatever's nearby, maybe something from the bathroom, and wipe up whatever dripped onto the ground.
Yep, the gentle wood, if it had been there for a long period of time, it probably could have stained it, but right now it's able to pretty easily wipe off. A very simple conversation with Duluth, and he is doing a few casts of prestidigitation to get it out of there. Everything is no worse for wear, and the party is ready to resume activities.
Thank you for the help.
Of course. Just, this looks recent, is it? Just from when y'all were out on your fight the other day, or?
It's complicated.
He just kind of rolls his eyes. It always is with you lot. Alright, keep your secrets.
Darius could give you some more information if you were so inclined. I can try and
No,
ease him into that.
Please, keep it.
No,
No,
it's
I don't
more that
want to
I
know.
don't.
I don't want to know.
All right.
And he just turns around and continues reading his book by the fireside. The less I know about him and his eggs, the better.
Here you are, Darius, freshly unsoiled.
Wonderful. He's going to toss them onto his bed. Let's get moving. I want to get out of here.
Right.
Is Struenhoff ready?
Yes.
Alright. Zeus heads out of the kitchen with a fantastic pot, full stop, of soup.
Lork, I think you did. I think I did you justice here. I think I was able to follow everything accurately enough.
Good.
Oh, Zeus made it? God damn it.
No, it is. Look. I tasted it. I was concerned as well, but I think it's also. Wait, what? This is going to come closer. Why? Why are your sheets all weird? What? Where did your
Crumpled up
sheets-
on the bed. Just had to change them. What's up?
Why do you have to? Did you piss the bed?
No, I did not.
Did a
You
god
peed
piss
on
his
it, didn't
bed?
you?
Be very careful with your next words, Zeus. I can make you piss your bed.
You want to know what? I don't even remember what I was saying. Let's get going.
The negotiator.
As he makes his way out, he's going to be very mindful at making sure that his heat is making the pot stay warm.
Understood.
All right, let's make our way over.
That's what Zeus sings as the ballad he was.
Oh.
The boys are back in town.
So Struenhoff is heading out with them?
Yes.
Okay. As the group of you lot make your way back out into the cold, at first it still takes you very much, pun not intended by storm, but through a little bit of brave application of each of your features and abilities, you're able to make a pretty decent pace around to each of the other areas. It is within Schoenhoff's bubble. Actually fairly serene. And of course, there's still all of the flying particles of snow beyond it, but within here, it's almost idyllic.
Like a reverse snow globe.
Like a reverse snow globe, very much so. There's serenity in the peace and a little bit of loneliness, but not in the negative way. More in the comfort of security between the four of you. You make a few trips around to some of the nearby houses. Things are generally going quite well. All of the houses you check up on, the Kios in particular, since I would assume that's the one that you're most worried about, they end up being totally fine. They've kind of been running a little bit of a relief effort, making sure since before it was before the storm came in, once it was projected, to make sure that everybody was going to be safe. And a few people are not at their homes, but you find them at other nearby ones. You're on your way just between two of the nearby homes when if you have anything you'd like to talk about.
Just very fast since we're out here. I can maybe that little girl. I promised to bring her back a gift. I can just drop it off. We can all drop it off very fast.
All right.
Zeus will go with everyone. Kind of knock, like take a second before, deep breath in, deep breath out. Kind of knock on the door.
Just a moment.
Of course, no rush. How do you present a gift to a child? Do you just go, here you go, here's that gift?
She opens the door very slightly, expecting to just peek out and have a little bit of the wind, but then it's not happening, and she's just, come on, come inside, quick.
Yeah, sure. Pops inside.
And, oh, she starts to close the door and then sees Darius there and quickly reopens it for him.
I mean, Zeus, if you want to go in alone, you're allowed to.
Yes, this will only be a moment. Sorry, you don't have to keep the door open.
Darius, you'll catch a cold.
We actually won't. It's perfectly fine out here. You can pick your head out.
She looks out, sees the other two, and just actually that causes her to close the door. That's just peak goober material.
Hi. Last time I was here, I'd promised to bring back a gift. So this is going to go more around.
She moves over, listens to what Ark says for a few moments as she's playing a game with Kelia, and eventually asks them to put their hands over their eyes. And kid does so. She picks the kid up and moves them back over and is holding them nearby and sets them gently on the ground. The kid's still ahead. The kid's counting up from 1. They're on like 17 and they're getting very slow at counting.
She's very good. I don't think I could make it at 17 at my age. Hi there. I brought back a gift for you. Keep your eyes closed. Put your hands out.
They sort of move their hands out of the way, and you see that their eyes are open for a moment, and they put their hands back over their eyes and try again, this time with their eyes closed.
And
they just put them straight out like somebody was diving off a diving board.
This is gonna
just palms straight down.
Kind of straighten his back out for a second, move back for a second at like the speed of it, and it's like, oh yes, I'm going to put that rhino action figure in her hands. You can open your eyes now.
She opens
is-
it and is very excited, and she goes, she starts to run off to the room, and then like turns the corner, then turns back. Thank you, and
what,
and runs over.
I-
You hear some rustling.
How do kids get so fast? I mean, in a blink of an eye. Really impressive stuff. Yeah, that's about. Oh, hello.
She runs back over and places down like 4 little figures. Most of them are static, non-moving ones. What's the term? Articulated. Most of them are non-articulated, but the one you have is. She grabs your hand and sort of pulls you very meekly down to the ground. He's like yanking on your arm.
Zeus will go ahead. Oh yes, I can play for a little bit of time, maybe just a few minutes. I do have some friends outside. One.
She
Zeus is
puts
going to try
Rhino Man and a regular rhino on yours, and then like has a tiger, a giraffe, and
A what?
What?
and like
We
a shark.
bust the door down.
And the shark, and she's making play with all of them, with Captain Rhino and regular Rhino, off to save the day. And she ends up saying something along the lines of, "You get to play the hero because you're the hero."
Oh, you want to know who the real hero is? You, for I gave you that little wooden coin. You've been keeping great care of it, I'm sure, and for waiting, I'm sure, so patiently. He kind of turns back to her mother to like confirm. So patiently for my, this gift being returned, right?
She just looks at some of the toys for a moment and continues playing with them, and then she's like, oh wait, and just kicks one of them over to the wall as she runs off.
Mm-hmm.
Amara moves behind you for a moment and just leans over while you're down on the ground. He's not too far off, I think you're giving yourself too much of a hard time.
It's the only thing I know how to do. Give myself a hard time about things. How are you all keeping up with the weather and such?
Well, everybody's got what they need, and it'll pass in a few days, so haven't heard any problems for anyone else nearby, so hope it stays that way. What about you?
That's good.
You all set?
I'm all right. Darius.
Hold on.
Hmm?
And she stands back up as Ark runs back out, and she gives you back the wooden coin, holding it in both hands. It was upside down at first, which is a little weird, just barely. But that's because as you flip it over, there's a little ring around the face of it. There's a little carving of just a little bit into the wood, just making a big circle around it with a smiley face.
Zeus is going to take it and just kind of look at it. And in a way of almost double saying it, he's going to say, thank you. I have to get going now. I'm so sorry.
There's another yell from the two of them as Kelly pushes Gillian. Mom runs over to break it up. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
She gives you a wave as you start saying that as she has to rush over. Ark moves back over and looks back up at you while she starts playing with the other toy.
I hope you enjoy that new toy. All right, I'm off. He's going to
Okay,
go out.
okay, come back. Play again, please. Okay?
Will do. I'll make the time for it.
She
Cool.
she does a little bit of a clap, but it doesn't end up actually being a clap because she's holding the shark really tightly in one of her hands.
Aw, that's adorable.
Just going to give a little smile, then leave. Push it,
So-
get the door open and close as fast as possible.
Schoonohoff, I know, has very good hearing and could probably hear just about all of that despite the rest of it. Remind me, do either of the other two of you have any supernatural hearing?
No.
Then would anybody have attempted to put their ear to the door or anything in this end? Or was anybody being a little sneak about it?
I'm not a little sneaky boy. I'm not.
Darius? Would you have been putting your ear to the door or trying to listen in or anything like that?
Nope, he would be looking away, like respecting the privacy of the family.
Gotcha. Then Schoonoff is the only person who could have listened in, actually, and Zeus has exited back to outside. Again, much colder than inside. Instantly takes you off guard again, but quickly getting used to it.
He's going to come up to get closer to the worm. Guys, you would not believe it. You know that thing I know I said I'd seen one before, but I was lying. You know that thing Rift is always talking about? She had a toy one. A giraffe? What was it called? What does he always pronounce it as?
No way.
It's
I mean-
real.
Are you sure it wasn't a toy questing beast?
They are, yeah. I mean, I think that's a pretty common thing.
No,
They're
it
pretty
had this
magical monster.
long neck. It was like spotted.
It had the neck of a snake, the hide of a leopard. Yes,
Yes.
that's a questing beast.
No. It was no. In the look, I'm not good at describing things like this. We can return some other day. Play toys, get have a positive impact with the city or whatever. I've been requested to come back to play action figures. I've really gotten
That's good to
myself
hear.
in. It's not good. I don't know how to do that. You wanna know what I did as a kid? I learned to be a roguish assassin. I'm going to teach so many horrible lessons.
Maybe this will be your chance to finally have something, at least a moment of an actual childhood.
What a crazy day this is becoming.
But regardless, even if it wasn't a questing beast, I imagine that people make figures or sculptures of fictional creatures all the time.
Look, sure, maybe, but I'm telling you, I mean, let's walk and talk while we're doing this. We don't need to be out here any.
Right.
I was just taken aback.
The party is probably also about as private as they're going to get for a while unless they head back out.
Yeah, we don't want people to think we're crazy talking about giraffes.
True. Weren't we intending to go to the Delmarev?
Yep.
Not yet. Yeah, you're on your way. Does the party have anything they would like to talk to with each other?
How do you think they all took it the night after the night after? The revelation.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. I wasn't really paying that much attention to all of that. Was still rather unaware of my position and powers, so I was focused more on all of you.
It's alright. I'm not asking you as the god of dreams. I'm asking you as a person. How you think they, as other people, would have reacted to learning that much of their tradition is based on a lie.
I think it's different. I don't think it's very... I don't think I could say that all persons revealed would react in the same way.
Right.
As much as the Delmarevs are a monolith legally, they are not individually.
I know, I just...
I think that overall, though, there's going to be some turbulence as more is revealed, as more happens, as more
Right.
people deny and more people accept. There might be some groups who demand answers from the Highborn. It is going to be a rocky time for the Delmarevs, but I think it is for the better. And I think that enough people for now will recognize and appreciate the knowledge. Hey Golden, your keyboard sounds are coming through your mic.
Let me try and fix that.
To a substantial degree.
And hopefully we can get to Gerard Martevere soon enough that we can assess the situation before it gets too far out of hand.
We will see.
Right.
You have arrived near the tower of the checkpoint.
Alright. Lork is going to readjust his grip on the pot of stew and knock on the door.
There is no response.
He's gonna push the door open if it's unlocked.
It is not, but you quickly hand the stew off and go through your pack, grab the key, and open it.
Do you know if they stay here or if they have other places they tend to stay in town?
They might have gotten a new place in the time since.
You
Perhaps they stay in the tavern?
push open the door, and there's no one in the core room of the main tower. You switch to the upper, you like go all the way through the core. You go down to where the barracks is, to where most of the beds are. There's no one. There's still some evidence of semi-recent use, but nothing that would indicate actually very recent people living here. Moving to the north tower, the smaller of the two, including where the kitchen is, there is no Delmarevs there. There's simply EA, the spirit fox, who's kind of, had been here since before the Delmarev were, who is curled up around a very small point of a rather bright, despite its size, small magical flame. They are curled up and sleeping somewhat like a cat.
Suppose they're not here then.
They must have... Either they're in town or they left.
I assume a organization or people, I should say, wide shared dream or similar dream would be something they would be recalled for, but we don't have enough information to say that for sure yet. So, I think the next best bet is to check the tavern in town.
Right.
They should. I know that the keepers do live there, so we can check with them and see if Dumrevs mentioned when they were going through making sure everyone had enough supplies where they would be.
I'll leave the stew here for EA. And maybe if the others get back. Actually, I'll leave a note as well.
You you sneak along through. There's a little creak in the floor as you get close, which just prompts a little. And they readjust a little bit. Yes. Yeah. And you sneak your way back out.
What is that little creature?
I can't say that I know.
Wow. Forgetful lads.
I know you said Spirit Fox, but
I'll post the picture in player chat because that'll probably spark memories.
A devious little creature, getting up to mischief.
This is no.
Oh my god, it's Neko Arc.
No.
Brenya? Brenya?
Oh.
Memories at all?
Not really. I remember the token.
Okay.
No, I do not remember the token.
Sad. It has been like 2 years. Maybe a year and a half. Anyway.
Oh.
Kind old spirit fox that used to man the watchtower before it became much of anything. And asked to please remain here after the Dumrev came in to build the perimeter.
Right, yeah. I remembered who the character was, but...
The party is making their way back.
I hope they're alright.
I'm sure they're fine. I don't think you have any real right to worry about how they are after we just went and fought a god. If anything, they should be worrying about if you're alright.
Whether or not it's right to, I do worry about them. I mean, gods know
I don't.
Actually, you do know how long I spent agonizing over what exactly my beliefs were when I first came to the conclusion of what the Highborn was.
You know what? Actually, you're right. Shouldn't have spoken too soon. I do know.
And they just got all that information over the course of one day.
They'll figure it out. Town will have some answers. I remember
Right.
when we were passing through, a lot of the lights upstairs were lit up, and those tend to be the rooms rented out, so perhaps they had better facilities set up. If not, then not. But we don't know until we see.
Alright. While we're in town, we should also grab some scrolls of sending if we have the money on hand.
Probably wise. It's probably not going to be a lot of people moving around. The shops might not be manned, not expecting people to currently be moving around in such a blizzard, but...
The tavern was still bustling when we came back to town last night, so...
Correction, it wasn't. The downstairs was empty. The upstairs had gameplay.
I thought I remembered hearing that there was stuff going on in the tavern.
There was
Okay.
activity, but it was upstairs.
Okay.
Unless I'm just getting gaslit into reinventing my own world, but
No,
that's,
I definitely 100% remember you saying that the downstairs was empty.
yeah.
Well,
You make your
if
way.
there...
You're on your path back to town, and you're remembering just how much farther this is than practically any of the other parts so far. The other ones you were able to get to in like 5 or 10 minutes, but this one's gonna take you an hour again, if not longer, given how much worse the storm's gotten.
We're focusing on making it a comfortable walk and not a fast walk, so Hopefully we won't be as thoroughly off-put by the end of it.
So true.
Please continue.
Hopefully the Mages Guild is open. If not, then that's fine, but...
I mean, the Mages Guild is more than just a shop. It's not
Right.
whether or not it's open or closed. Some people live there, so it's going to have to be accessible to some people.
Right. I
Just
mostly
wanna-
just...
Just want to make sure, since I might be overestimating this. Do y'all still have things that you want to talk about just between your characters? You just don't feel like it's the right time right now, or?
I don't really have anything on hand.
Yeah, at the moment it's
Me
just
neither.
kind of transitory.
Yeah, we're just shooting the breeze.
Okay, I felt like there was stuff that you all would want to talk about, but I guess not.
I mean, if you give us like tags into it, maybe there is. Like maybe you are thinking of something that we have forgotten about or something.
I forbore.
I mean, like, Darius talking about his events that just happened, or Zeus having feelings about the wish, or continuing more along those lines about Lort and his conflict with the clan right now, and how Schoenhof's coming along with his stuff, if there's any complications with all that and whatnot.
Yeah.
I
Darius
feel
just
like...
didn't send anything because people hadn't really asked. He's pretty reserved, but when people ask, he's not withholding anything. He speaks about it.
And if anything, I feel like the only one that would really be talked about right now is Sternhoff's stuff, if Sternhoff's willing.
Sorry, I've kind of been trying to set different scenes because I was expecting eventually one of them would be brought up. My bad. Go ahead.
The problem with my stuff and like talking about the dream is that I don't really have like concrete stuff about it yet.
Okay. I was kind of hoping that it would be a bit of a fill-in both ways, but if you want, I can step it up and try to give you some more concrete answers.
Yeah.
Alright.
Also,
We'll
it-
figure it out together in outer session stuff. Go ahead, Zeus.
I was gonna say, is it a thing to where it's like, is it known that Zeus ended up wishing for that, or is it because that's also been kind of like a thing?
It's something that Zeus knows,
Yeah.
but I
Okay,
think that's it.
Gotcha. Okay.
It is a secret for Zeus at this time.
So, what were you all talking about while I was in La La Land?
Struenhoff and I think, are going to work on, or I'm going to assist Struenhoff in some experiments. Should be exciting, you know, whenever he finds the time. Apparently, they were working on this weapon, this whip for Dyer.
Sure, he'll love it.
Yeah, you know, assuming everything goes well, right?
Everything will go well. There's no need to assume.
Uh, what, do you have anything weird happen in your dream? I mean, obviously something happened, but...
Yes, something definitely happened. So you made a comment on the sheets. It was blood. I had something of a struggle. I was initially called in, I think at least, by some sort of representative of a library of some kind. They were asking for permission to chronicle the details of my ascension.
You didn't just give it to them, correct?
No, it was a very formal thing. They were basically, what happened was I told them that I was already writing part of it down, and that then they offered a scribe to potentially or just to give me more time to refine it, and I told them that, as Lorik understands very, very well, my writing is unbearable to read for anyone who isn't business-oriented. Like, it is very difficult to get through it. If you've ever tried reading any kind of textbook, imagine cutting out any useful intermediary words that help you understand the context of something if you're not already in the middle of it.
Aren't you?
So I asked, well, it's odd. There's a certain level of authority I have to speak with, a posture I have to take as a god. So I accepted the scribe, I should say. And, I assume at least the next time, then the next night, they should be there, or I might seek them out. I'm not entirely sure on the details. It will be chronicled. There were 3 other presences that I could sense. One of them I ended up completely unable to track. It's bothering me a little bit. It was somewhat of a larger presence, a larger existence, but when I went there, wherever it was, there was nothing. Absolute absence of anything.
You don't think it might have been?
No. At least I don't think so.
Or at least, maybe, Paris?
No, it's not like that. It was a very gentle breeze, but that was it. Nothing was malicious or malignant. I'm confused, but not necessarily concerned. I am going to try and figure out more about it, but I don't think it's cause for worry. What was cause for worry is the other 2 presences, a pair of UNT monstrosities. That is the label for what they are, specifically in the hierarchy, not me calling them monstrosities. But for those of you who, you don't know what that means. They are more snake-formed than human-formed. I am a half-blood. I'm not ascended up the rank of...
Wait, isn't Darius a pureblood?
Pureblood, a pureblood. Yes, pureblood, thank you. I'm a pureblood. They were closer, perhaps the mediary between half-blood and monstrosity.
Okay.
Which is higher up on the rung. But,
and
they, as always, we always end up doing, it seems, coming to grovel before the newest power, the newest god in search of service and usefulness in order to gain their own power and influence. Power through service is the mantra of UNT, it seems, but I told them to follow their own desires, to give them a chance, the choice, the freedom I was given. What they chose was to attack me. It was a surprisingly difficult fight, not one that I think was any significant risk to my life, but nothing scoffable. But one of them escaped, another one could not. I exerted my authority in a way I have not yet, or had not previously, or I should say attempted to not. And I believe it allowed me to cause a change in them, and giving them the final chance allowed them to change as I did.
Well, that's positive, right?
Yes. In some ways it makes me happy, and in other ways it makes me frustrated with myself and the outlook I'd taken for so long. This refusal to accept that there might be a chance or change for Yuan-Ti and that eradication was the only solution. Now knowing that there was always another way kind of embitters me for what I could have been doing instead.
Well, I mean, at least there's a path going forward. You know, of course it's hard to, I guess, look forward to the future rather than beat yourself up for the past.
It's a good reminder that I'm always fallible, no matter how powerful I might get.
How did they get into your realm to be able to, you know?
In their
Do
original
this.
attempts to escape Dendar, they ended up trapped there. So once I ascended, took the place, it freed them from their imprisonment in the plane.
And the librarians, the scribe,
I
etc.
assume that they are in service to another god, perhaps the god of knowledge, the god of information, the god of history, something like that. I assume they were retainers or servants of some kind, sent to potentially gain the information. But,
Would Lork remember if there is a god of knowledge in the Imperial Pantheon?
In the Imperial, probably in Fringe.
the way they addressed me, they tried strictly, at least until I told them not to adhere to honorifics, so it was clear they themselves weren't the god themselves. Or if they were, they were very respectful. They made it come across as if they were believing themselves to be inferior.
I guess I didn't expect it to be such a lively place up there.
I mean,
Lots happened.
it is the realm of a god, and a god has died. There are changes, shift in power, shift in knowledge. There's going to be attention attracted there.
Are you sure you'll be safe there?
I mean, I'll be as safe as I am as always, which I suppose is not.
Well, I mean, that's a space that the rest of us cannot go, so I would argue less safe.
But at the same time, it is a space that I have significantly more control over.
If you would like, I would be happy to spend at least some of my nights there if you would have me.
I'm not sure if it would degrade the quality of your sleep, but I will, when important times come, seek your counsel and potentially enlist your aid.
We could also always see if, in more peaceful times, see if it affects my sleep, and then go from there.
Indeed. This is all things I will learn with experience and time.
Just, try and, we have other things we need to get done, so don't take maybe unnecessary risks.
I'm aware. I took an enormous amount of time, effort, and energy to get here. I am going to stay here for at least a couple thousand millennia. At least to the mortal plane.
I don't know. That number, it just sounds like you're, I don't know, going a bit short, maybe, It's like...
I said at least.
Not very optimistic, are you?
I'm pragmatic, that's what I am. You should know this. We have
Fair
no
enough.
knowledge of what slayers or other gods might be power playing. So I'm
Would
going
it
to
be
shoot for whatever time I think I can.
would it be beneficial maybe to start making allies sooner rather than later? Maybe proactively.
I suppose that is wise. My angle on dreams is likely very different to Dendar's, so I assume there are some gods that expect me to follow their path that I might then speak with and clarify that I'm not a similar entity. I think that there might be some aid I can enlist. There is one god in particular, though, that I know is 100% going to be my primary antagonist, I should say, for the next upcoming however long.
Who would that be?
Another one of the UNT Pantheon, Seth.
You mentioned it before.
The primary transgressor, the one who truly created the race.
And he controls, or they control, snakes? Beyond T.
Not... I'm not myself sure what Seth is the god of, truly. He is cunning, he is deviousness, he is what you truly embody from a snake. Dendar was a snake not for these purposes, not for these reasons, because of their never-ending, world-devouring appetite. Their embodiment was a snake, but Seth is a snake. I don't know how to truly differentiate between these things, but Dendar held the magical and strength over the spirit of the UNT, the emotions. But Seth created it. It's almost like a toy maker and that who plays with the toys. The toy maker has control over what it becomes, and at its core understands the toys much more than the one who might use them, but the one who uses them at the end of the day is the one that controls them.
Can I elaborate on that in exactly one way?
Go for it.
There's also a little bit of the idea that Seth is a little bit more primordially snake as opposed to simply being snake. Like, rather than being a snake, they're kind of more of the snake. Or
Yeah.
more that snakes are them.
Yes.
A little bit of a way.
While Dendar wasn't a snake in the sense of snake, Dendar was a world eater, a dream eater, a serpent, whereas Seth is... It's not even correct to say a snake, just... Perhaps even the snake is an understatement, but serpentine. He's even closer to the... and I don't believe that he is because of his individuality and control as a god, but he is much closer to the icon, the idea of serpentry, of snakes, of deviousness, of cunning. And for that reason, I believe they are likely a much more powerful god for being so much closer to that of their icon. Although I know so little about Seth himself because intentionally he keeps much information hidden.
Well, let's hope it becomes a problem later rather than sooner.
You never know. I have made direct call-outs against him, potentially to those that serve him. How he takes the actions is unclear, but I don't think I've ever heard of Seth taking direct action himself. Whether that's because every time he takes it, there are no survivors to tell of it, or the fact that he doesn't, I'm not sure.
I mean, is this something we need to take care of before?
No. This is something that will extend likely far beyond any of your lifetimes. And perhaps will not resolve, maybe ever. I don't know what it will take. I was in a unique position to take down Dendar. If I was anyone else, it would not have been, I believe, a possible venture. Because I existed as the Horcrux. I had information as a result of being a uniquely powerful warlock, of being one born willingly under the watchful gaze. We don't have that luxury with Seth. I don't have any information. I don't even know of anyone who gains their power directly from Seth. It's going to be a lot longer of a fight, and should you in your afterlives wish to help, you're more than welcome to, but it will be, at least I believe, very far from here. For now, though, we should focus on the fights we have in front of us.
Of course. Do we have a direct plan for step one, step two? I mean, I know we're waiting for the storm to kind of die down.
Well, I know we're heading to Jared Montevere to communicate with Delmarevs now that this has happened. My hope was to speak with the Highborn themselves and potentially enlist their aid. Rifter still has some time that he needs to better accumulate with whatever is happening with death. And I am going to search out something that will help you gain the power to protect your brother, to rescue him. You know what?
I'm back, sorry.
To that end, Zeus, what is it as a core value at the very heart of your being that you aspire to? What emotion or feeling or absoluteness do you think you can ascribe yourself to? I know this is a very deep, sudden question, but
like core value, right?
sort of, but perhaps even more primal than that.
I might need to think about that one. What do you ask?
Because I think that might help find someone who's willing to aid you. Or something.
Well, I also have, plenty of places to search. I wonder if, when I was trying to concentrate on the powers that I do have, I went to these different places. One was different oozes and such were everywhere. There was another place where it seemed very peaceful. We should, oh my gosh, I had completely forgotten. Maybe when everyone's feeling up to it, we might want to take a trip there. I'd come back with that wine from that place. It was very
The one that
relaxing.
helped you teleport?
Yes, I believe it. Honestly, I should get some more of that, so then
You can continue
does.
having that aid. I mean, eventually you want to get rid of a crutch, but while you're getting used to it, there's no harm in helping.
Yes.
I mean, a crutch has use after all.
And it tasted quite delicious, I must say. It was a wonderful wine. But maybe somewhere out there, I could find somebody else to help train as well. I'm not exactly sure the span of where I'm going each time. But
From what it sounds like you're traversing a great number of many planes. I don't know if there really is a limit. I'm really curious if you could bring your material body into the realm of dreams.
ooh, interesting thought. Maybe I'll try that tonight just to see how that can go. I mean, might as well, right? Unless you're
Suppose.
expecting anyone.
I mean, I am, but it's an entire night. And you know how dreams work, how sometimes they can feel an instant, and other times they can feel they last years.
We'll just have to see them. An interesting prospect, nonetheless.
That actually does make me think. I wonder what the time scale is in my realm and how much control I have over what it actually ends up being.
Do we have a solid way to test this? Maybe I leave something going. DM questions. Do clocks exist?
Yes. Each day is around 32 hours long, give or take.
Wait a minute, weren't they 30 hours at the start of the campaign? What's this time inflation we're dealing with?
Oh no,
Hey,
Paris added 2
around.
hours to the day.
Huh?
Around is around.
Ah, an A press is an A press. You can't say it's just a half.
Well, you see, on clock, an A press is half an A press. Because
listen
you
here, you
actually
little
use
shit.
0 A presses on the clock level.
Oh yeah, I guess they did get. Did they get TikTok locked down to 0 A presses? That's off topic.
Yeah, around 30 hours is also around 32. Depends on who you ask. Because the definition of an hour, there's two different types of hours in the Empire. One is definitionally based on the day, and one is based off of like the minute being an actual predetermined length of time that was established back before they had better info. So like there's the group that still says no, an hour is still just whatever 1/30th of a day is, and the other one's like no, an hour is the amount of time it takes for this to happen in a spell, which was based off of the measurements of, you know, back when they thought there would be 30 hours, like how long a minute would be in 30 hours, but it was actually off by a little bit, so there's 32 hours in that one.
Yeah, I assume the standard hour is in a spellcasting sense how long it took for spells with a cast time of 1 hour.
Right, it depends
Or
on which
something
type of hour you use.
Like I'm saying, the ones that are talking about it as a standardized unit as opposed to part of a day.
Right.
All right, but anyways,
So much like how a day here is not 24 hours nor the same amount of time, and how it's about like 30 to 40% longer than a day, the hours are also different, where like in universe an hour is still gonna be is just 1/30th of the day. The actual like time for us and spells and stuff, there's 32 of those cycles within a day. Like you could have haste on you 32 times in a day. No, not haste. Quick, name a spell with a concentration of an hour.
Hunter's Mark.
Hex?
That's the one. You could have hex on you 32 times in a day.
Hot.
It's pretty hexy, not gonna lie.
Shut.
Anyway.
There's probably some way to test it, but it really will just be easier if we have an intuit. So we go into your dreams while one is awake. Actually, easy solution. How long was I asleep for you, Lorik?
About an hour or so.
And how long was I doing my shit in
Your
me?
guess is like 40 minutes. If it's different, it's not too substantial.
I mean, it was somewhere around there. It didn't seem very different. I'll have to see if I'm able to control them.
Well, remember, it was also different for each of us going into the domain of dreams back when it was ruled by Dendar.
No, that's fair. We will see. As I age into it, it will become more clear to me with experience and testing.
You ever think about what if it's one of those things where it's like you think, oh, I'll know it, I'll understand it when I get there, and then you get there and you realize you don't understand it, and then you just kind of fake it till you make it. You know, it's like being a leader of different things, or being an adult. You know, as a kid, you're like, oh, I'll just know so much more.
I've
then
had
it's
to be
like-
an adult my entire life, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. Well, analogy might still stand. Maybe you can find someone who also in the, your realm or in those realms, you can be like, hey, in these new allies that you make, who can explain more about godhood and such. Look at us,
If you want
meeting
any
new people.
assistance, the realm has felt exceptionally empty as you observe it. You okay?
Sorry, I just got really disoriented for a second. Can I get a repeat on Zeus's last thing?
Perhaps, in with your new allies or, other gods that you meet, they can talk to you even more about, what it's like being a god and
Well, yes, potentially in the future. That's true. I'll have to make those allies first, though.
true. How close are we to our destination?
2/3, 3/4.
Rather close. We're largely through it.
Good.
I've been thinking about all of our wishes. I know Lorik's spoken a lot about it, and Sternhoff, what specifically was your wish? Because I assume it was something about Sultan, but I don't actually know what it was specifically.
I believe, word for word, it was to have the knowledge, the time, and the body to complete Sultan's work. So,
What did you mean by Sultan's work? Because there's, of course, his work on lichdom without lichdom, immortality without forsaking humanity.
essentially, yeah.
There was also, I believe, or at least to him of equal importance, of aiding Cassandra was his work as well.
Suppose so, but
I just wonder if your intention overrode that, or I'm just curious. I assume you're getting what you desired.
it's hard to say, as it's all slowly coming to me when I'm dreaming.
Maybe
Time will tell, I suppose.
we'll see. I'll try and keep other dreams away.
Appreciate it.
Do you think you're going to utilize whatever technique you might find on yourself?
I've considered it.
What is it that you want to do with this once it's complete?
To be honest, I'm not sure. My whole goal was just completing it to pay him back for teaching me what he did.
Well, I assume the information will lead you to the correct conclusion at the end of it.
That is the hope.
Do you plan on potentially giving them information to a Mage's Guild, or are you going to keep it more hidden away?
Of character, I don't know the answer to that because I'm not sure if he was with. I'm not sure if the place that he was teaching in Ruined World was part of the Mages Guild or not.
The Rune World was its own. Like, mages guilds are generally fiercely independent.
Right.
Think colleges. So even mages guild, just as a statement, like it's the Hectorum Mages Guild, or Rune World is, you know, a magic college of Rune World, right?
Yeah.
So it would be up to you to choose which mages guilds, if any, you would want to speak to.
So to answer that question back in character, at the very least, I might share it with the Ruined World Guild, but no others.
Well, it's, I think at its core, going to be very shaking information, a shaking technique, something that is going to alter the foundation of power when it comes to mortal mages. After all, those with the arcane tend to be limited only by time, by age, in their ability to grow their strength and their knowledge. So with that removed, that could upset the balance of mages across the world. I'm not sure what would necessarily come of it. I don't know much about the school. I would just advise caution on where you give the information.
Of course.
Not to lecture you on it. Pardon.
It's alright. You're probably privy to a lot more information than I am right now.
Perhaps in time, but as of now, I would say you still have more experience in this field than I do.
That may be so.
What of you, Zeus? What is it that you wished for?
Well, Zeus starts kind of like twiddling with his hands and said, I think, you know, aren't you not supposed to talk about wishes? Doesn't that make them not come true? Isn't that the type of thing?
Does that mean it hasn't come true yet?
No, so you know that, you know how you were like, if anyone has extra, wish, you know, to kind of send it your way and hope that it might help.
I caught myself and said not to do that. Please don't
Well-
tell me you used your wish on me.
Look, I figured a more surefire chance at somebody getting strong seemed to be a better choice than gambling on.
Bastard, you're going to dream heaven. I take back my divine curse. You're not gonna have. It's always sunny.
Look, the rain is sometimes absolutely fine. I didn't. It's not a big deal. I Look, it's selfish of me.
is
I just
a big
want a tool to save everything, right? That's all it is. More surefire, you know.
I will do. I already was going to, but I want to make it clear I will do everything in my power to save him. Now, not only to prevent my wish from being in vain, but to prevent your wish from being in vain.
Right. The last thing that Daya wanted me to make sure, or wished for me to help you all in any way I could, and so that's what this is. If anything, help him. That this is his. We will help him. Hopefully, we can.
Without the hopefully, we will help him.
Thank you. So don't go doing all this reckless stuff, getting stabbed in your dream world. All right, it matters a lot more now.
It was
right. Hopefully,
a necessary risk I had to take to see if it was worth trying to help them instead of to harm them. And I proved myself right.
I can see why you're a businessman. You're really good at twisting things into sounding like they were absolutely good.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
You have made it into town. You're about to cross the frozen over bridge.
You talk a lot about this. Fake it till you make it, this. Confidence where there is none, and I understand what you mean. A lot more than I think you understand. But there comes a time where you have deserved confidence, where you deserve to truly believe that what you do, can do, and will do is possible and will happen. And right now, because of the actions you have taken, Zeus, we are now all in a position to save Daya, to put an end to their plans, and to create a better life and a better future for everyone. Because of your actions. This is no longer a I hope something will happen. This is a you have done something, and you will do more.
I'll try to adapt that mindset. Or, adopt that mindset.
After all, you've got a god in the party. What can go wrong?
Well, what can go wrong is he doesn't even know how to control the weather. I mean, come on now.
I can make it rain again. I can make it rain again. Also, remember what I said earlier about wetting the bed.
I really have locked myself in just the most terrible instance. All of this is... I'm not even sure if I should have made that wish at this point. It's all coming back to bite me.
That's how you know he really is a businessman.
Listen, Zeus. I respect you, and I am grateful for everything you've done. And I don't want you to feel like you ever need to fear anything I can, will, or shall ever do to you. But also consider the following, that I could make someone be unable to sleep for the rest of their life, causing an eventual miserable death.
What? Zeus is going to turn over to turn his head towards Lurk and shoot off and be like, what have we done?
Isn't this what you wanted?
This is... I heard things about wishes, that you should be careful about what you wish for. I should have honestly thought
You
about
did dig
this a
this
lot
grave.
more.
It's about time you lied in it.
Ugh.
The eternal rest comes upon you.
Maybe I should have given help to Rifter. I mean, I just knew, but I mean, he just kills so often. There's no way death would ever turn him down.
You didn't need to turn on S. Oh. But all this existentialism and sad talk and confidence boosting talk can wait because we have reached town, because
Right.
we have some things to manage and some investigation to do.
Yeah. Where to first?
Have to readjust my as he sort of like cups onto his face and taps it a couple times. All
Orc
right.
puts his hand on his shoulder.
Right, I'm sorry, I have to break the habit of changing expressions, appearances, and emotional posturing every time I get into a new situation.
You're fine.
Okay. Thank you. So,
The party pries their way into the Mages Guild. There is a sign at the bottom floor, along with a few basic supplies, of which a few message and sending scrolls are there, with the sign saying, "Take what you need and give what you can."
Alright, let's grab 2 sending scrolls. Then.
one moment, let me see how much gold I have on me.
Right.
How much are these normally?
You're not, you're more familiar with how much this sort of thing costs.
Does he know the price?
You can roll, and we can figure it out.
What do you want me to roll?
Just roll me a d20.
Rats.
7 rats.
Man, I'm really scrolled all the way. It's somewhere between 4 and 8 gold. Wait, hold on. It's somewhere between 2 and 5 gold.
Okay. If I remember correctly, it should be between 2.5 to 5 gold.
Alright,
Let's leave 4 gold each.
how many are we taking?
Just 2. That should be
2?
all I need.
Alright, and he's going to cycle out, pull out a little coin bag, and start counting out a lot more than four coins.
Are you paying in copper?
And he's going to set down the satchel and leave, and say that I think we've been in a fortunate enough position. I'm going to leave that with them.
Alright.
You know, big talk coming from the guy who's not going to need worldly possessions soon.
Is that you? Would each of you mind making me a perception check?
Sure. 29.
Nice.
God damn.
That's a sizable amount.
5.
Oh no.
No. Zeus. As you leave the Mages Guild, one of the things that you notice through the little bit of light that's peering through the canopy and just generally radiating out the area, given your roguish, charms and whatnot, you're able to see some of the little details of things far away. In particular, you see that there is a rather fine and weather-resistant piece of paper near the upper area of the wanted board slash jobs board. Wanted alive, 500. And underneath that, and to the right of it, is all snow.
It's all snow.
Yeah, I mean, it's snow because you're a good 30 feet away from it.
Gotcha.
And it's buried.
What is that over there?
What are you talking about?
There's a very weather-resistant paper over there on the board. Let me see. There's a
Many
new
of the
bounty.
others nearby are kind of soaked a little bit from water and refrozen, but this one still kind of has the upper part of it fluttering a little bit in the wind.
Here, let's get a little closer so that Sternhoff can stop it from fluttering. What do you see? What's up?
There's like a paper here. I don't know. I just want to see somebody's
It's-
wanted alive.
It's the jobs board, man. Of course, there's going to be paper and wanted. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
but like
how much gold was it? Did you say?
on the how much gold was
On the
it
wanted.
It said 500.
Oh, 500 gold.
Oh, hold. Okay,
God
yes. Okay.
damn, that
yeah,
is
okay.
a lot of money.
Move forward. Let's see what it is.
Yes, see, that's what I was saying.
You could have opened with that, sir.
Well,
He-
I thought it would be more exciting to build up to it.
You wipe off some of the snow nearby and see as there's an extra 0 on the end. And then a second. And then
Oh,
looking
fuck.
at the rest of it, there's a very nice rendition of a very particularly dickly man, as it says Prince Seiron Highstone.
Oh! The war criminal is experiencing consequences for his actions, huh?
Oh my. No way.
Who is commissioning this?
That's a good question.
It is likely the Emperor. That is the only person I think that can field that much money.
Huh.
I suppose it's time we have a talk with him then?
I don't know if we can get a talk with the Emperor.
Well, think there's anyone besides us who knows as much information on the prince?
We will start talking about this when we get to Gerard Martivier, 100%, because that is going to be a topic that needs to be discussed, because, wow!
I think we might need to have a chat with Executor Parolin about that. I think I've just found the use for the second sending scroll.
My... Ooh. I am still disoriented by the 2 extra zeros that we could not see.
50,000.
That's because you're a businessman. And that's a lot of money.
Sternhoff, that amount of money could fund your research for the rest of your life.
That amount of money.
Not if
could
his
fund a
research
city.
goes well.
That amount of money will fund a city's worth of commerce for almost multiple years. It's
Forget
See,
about all
like
that
I said-
nerd stuff. That money could make us rich. Rich beyond our wildest dreams.
I can make your wildest dreams even larger, but that's not trying to one up anything. This is something we need to focus on. I'm sure Rifter is going to absolutely love hearing this.
Perhaps. I wonder if we could take the billing back with us, or if we should leave it on the board.
I mean, do we think anybody here is going to try and chase down this?
I don't know if anybody can. I mean, we can take the posting, we can have Rifter replicated once the snowstorm is over, and repost
And then
it
bring
if
it back.
we need to, and bring it back. But for now, I would like to hold on to this. Okay, so we have made some sort of peace treaty with him until they are dealt with. Remember?
Which would mean that would also be an apt time to bring him in, since presumably he'll be there,
But I
or at
have
least his location will be known to us.
again, but I have a unique position in which I can take. He is still mortal.
He has to sleep.
He has to sleep. I can now approach him on my terms. Not only can I approach him on my terms, I now have a unique level of leverage over him.
That you do.
So, I don't think that for now, because I'm an honorable person, I'm going to respect the agreement that we've made. But I am going to approach him and make sure he understands the situation.
That there is no escape.
Or perhaps it's better that I don't, actually.
If he knows that there's no escape, then
We don't want to make him feel cornered. We don't want to make him act desperately. We want him to think he's in control, that he still has the upper hand.
strange how just a few weeks makes such a difference.
We don't know how much he already knows. He might already know, but I'm not going to tell him for the chance that he doesn't.
And even if he knows, he may not know. He may not know the extent of what has happened.
For now then, I'm going to remain impartial.
Aye.
If he manages to escape from us after we deal with them, then I can employ tactics I have jokingly threatened Zeus with.
In this case, I think it is well earned, given what he's done.
Eventually. We will see. All in good time. But let's head inside.
There's a small listing of a specific spot of a name at the Mages Guild in Tarnos Pem, another one in Korheim, and another one in Soju Pem for people to be able to get in contact with in regards to the missive. And otherwise, I assume that means you're making your way back home?
We were gonna go into the tavern, weren't we?
Yeah, we were looking for information on where the Delmarevs were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
got
I
distracted,
had been hoping that was a
50,000 gold.
cliffhanger, but then y'all did kind of go off on it, and I'm like, you know, they're vibing. Might as well wait.
Yeah, we just got distracted because, 50,000 is a lot of gold.
50,000 is a lot of gold. It would be a lot of gold in regular D&D, and it's a hell of a lot of gold here.
Yeah.
He's stunned because that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
That's because you're a
that is
businessman.
a lot of money.
And that's a lot of money.
Damn, she wasn't lying. That is a lot of money.
Oh. Hello? It's still working?
Hello?
Yeah, okay, it's still
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I can't believe the war criminal is finally on the run.
So exciting.
Can't believe it, guys. Sauron's execution. Just a week away. Oh wow.
I can make that joke, dude.
Huh?
Can you believe
There
it,
we go.
guys?
Wow, can you believe it, guys? Me
I
saying
am so
hi,
excited about this
it told me my mic disconnected. That's weird, and then it disconnected.
Oh, hey, Echo, hi.
OMG, Echo, hi. Wonder
Oh,
what
gee,
that
I
was
love
about.
Overwatch.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting they had the character called Echo. Anyway, let's go into the tavern, like we've been meaning to.
Okay. It's not very lively underneath, but people are making do. Few scattered souls. I really should have prepared the main page of this, so just give me a moment to
No worries.
I'll
No
figure
rush,
things
no
out.
worries. Take your time.
It is, of course, snowy and all that.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to move your characters over.
Have to find where the heck I am. Here we go.
I remember when we were in the church.
I
You
vaguely do
just
as
go
well.
over the storm.
Good time.
Was that when Rifter was being very angry and berating a priest?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Do you realize how little that narrows it down?
I mean, considering that you were in a church, the answer is probably yes.
Yeah. As opposed to the time when Lork was angry and berating a priest.
True.
Which, again, is the party being in a church.
Yeah. To be fair, he's normally at least civil about it.
To be fair, it's kind of part of the job.
Yeah. Anyway.
You worship this piece of garbage?
Well,
I do, and I'm tired of pretending I don't.
I'm driving the corpse of Prince Zayron like a fucking Mazda. Anyway, so we're going to the tavern. We're gonna ask around a bit about, hey, we saw that the Dolmarevs at the checkpoint weren't really anywhere to be found. What's up with that?
The two people who are down here, John and Kipip, the only two other patrons, give generally unuseful info. Julia is able to give Zeus a little bit of extra info on the down low on the side, saying that ain't nobody seen him for a few days.
From what I've heard, ain't nobody seen him for a few days.
So,
That was about the Delmarov, correct?
Yes, any of them.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So
that
that would
seems
have been.
missing.
They kind of had believed that they'd hold up in the tower, but if they haven't, then they're somewhere else. Just smart enough for that.
So,
I think I know what I'm going to use the two sending scrolls on.
Hmm?
I'm going to leave the two sendings as something for the start of the next session.
Oh yeah.
Because I need time to compose my 50 words of dialogue.
Would you mind telling me the targets?
One, Executor Paralon.
Okay.
Two, one of the Delmarevs that was working at the checkpoint. I can't remember the names. It's been way too long.
It has been a very, very long time. Does anybody else have any closing remarks as you sit in a little bit of warmth?
Zeus. Mhm.
Yeah. No. I don't actually have anything to say. I'm just thinking.
Gotcha.
Okay.
No,
Just
I'm-
as like, just as like a little flavoring kind of thing. Just as he's kind of sitting there with his allies, Zeus is just going to kind of hold the wooden coin in his hand, and just, in the little bit of, obviously they're planning things out, but in determination for what is to come.
Looking at the carved wooden coin, it fills you with determination.
Ah, I get to save Amazing.
Trust me, you're gonna need it, bub. Parentheses. Hold on to the coin. Don't lose it. No. Don't suffer the same fate. Thank you all for being here. Sorry for the low energy, but I think that's also part of the appeal of this. I could have been a little more prepared, but otherwise I think it went generally well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Farewell.
Thank you for running.
Of course. Glad to do
Thank you for
so.
jumping.